Hi, Silver-Bullitt here. Today we're going to look at the MSR Alpine Delux cooking kit or kitchen set. I've seen it's been called a few different things. I bought this from Go Outdoor for £42. We'll have a quick look at it. We'll get the scales out and have a little look at what the weight is first of all. Just tear the scales. And the weight is 863 grams. The weight on the information pack is 640 grams, but I've got some of the little bottles in there filled up, so we'll have a look at that just now. So there's a hard shell pack with a handle. Just make sure, zoom out a little bit. So yeah, that's the handle. It's got a little clip on the buckle and a zip all the way around. So that's the pack there. You've got the chopping board. So that's a hard chopping board, which is fairly rigid. It's not massive, but we'll get the tape measure out of how big the chopping board is. It looks like 26.5 centimeters long by 18.8 centimeters wide. That's the chopping board you get with it, and that just hooks into this. Put it in half and then hook it onto there, and then it stops it sliding out. But when it came, it was just under there like that, but it just seems to fall out when you do that, so I tend to just clip it like that. Stops it moving around as much. So this side you get a towel, an absorbent towel, and you also get a salt and pepper shaker, which is supposed to be moisture resistant. So it's one half is the salt and the other half is the pepper. You also get a corkscrew with a bottle opener on the top there, opening bottles, and you also get two little bottles, which I don't really trust bottles, so I put them in a sealed freezer bag and I tape the ends over. But what I've got in these, you get these two bottles, they're just empty when you get them. I've put some washing up liquid in one, and I've put some olive oil in the other. So fairy liquid in one, washing up liquid in one, and I've got some olive oil in this one for cooking. So if I've got a frying pan or whatever, I can spray a bit of olive oil on there for cooking. So that's probably where the extra weights come from, with them two bottles being full. Like I say, on the description of the pack, their weight is 640 grams. So that's where my extra weights probably come from. On this side, you get a brush for cleaning your pots and pans, and that's a scraper. So if you need to scrape your pans, you can scrape it with this end, clean it up. So cleaning the pans, you get like a big spoon, and that clicks into place, measuring spoon. So it's got measurements of 15 mil, 30 mil, 60 milliliters and 80 milliliters. So it's got 4 measurements on the inside of there. and that clips, and what you do is just squeeze the handle there and that releases the clips. So that's your spoon. You've got a spatula here, same sort of thing, clicks into place. It's got a serrated edge on this side. I'm not sure what you'd actually use that for, but it's got a serrated edge on there. Again, you squeeze them and that releases a little catch. And then you've got a strainer in here, so that's a strainer, and it's got a cheese grater part on there if you want to grate some cheese. So that's a strainer, so if you need to strain anything. Same sort of setup, squeeze again, releases the catch. And you've got a knife, I think it's a Sanduku knife, I think that's how it's pronounced. That's the blade. I have some information on that somewhere, but bear with us 2 seconds. Uh, 4.5 inch. Yeah, it's 4.5 inch blade, and it's 440 high carbon stainless steel, according to this. That's a blade there. And if anybody's watched WWF wrestling in the early 90s, Brutus Sabara beefcakes, garden shears, they can cut through absolutely anything, apparently, and so can this knife, from all accounts. But I have read some reviews saying that the knife has suffered from rust, which, if I was to use it, maybe I would get a bit of the olive oil after I'd finished using it to dry the blade, and maybe it's just a light bit of olive oil on my finger, and maybe just rub the blade, cover the blade with the olive oil, and that would probably prevent it from rusting if that's the case. But it says stainless steel, so it shouldn't really rust. But that's one of the reviews I read online, said it was rusting. So like I say, you could just put a smear of olive oil on the blade and put the sheath back on it, and then you could stick it in one of these freezer bags if you had to, just so the oil didn't go everywhere. Let's just see if it fit in there. Yeah, you could just put it in there, in the freezer bag, seal it up with a bit of olive oil on the blade, and then fold it up and put it back in there. That would be my take on it, and then you know your blade's not going to be rusted. But it says stainless steel on here, so I'm not sure if that is the case or not. The comments saying it rust. A few little items I added in were, I just had a pair of scissors in there which fitted in. I had it's proper tin opener, just for like if tins of tuna, things like that. I thought a proper tin opener is better for opening them. And I just had like me, it's a Swiss Army knife. It's a high gear sort of rip off of the proper Victorinox or whatever you want to call it, Swiss Army knife, and basically that is it for the pack. Any comments? You want any questions or comments you want to leave? You can do so, and I'll try and answer them if I get time. And if you can give the video a big thumbs up or like or subscribe the video, I'll try and do some more videos in the future. If you have any recommendations about what videos you want us to do, I can try and fit them in if I've got the equipment or stuff like that. But yeah, that's the end of that video for the MSR Alpine Delux cooking kit, or kitchen set, as it could be called. But that's it there, hard case, red. It's fairly bulky, and it's probably something that you'd use for more car camping than, I would say, like a solo wild camp backpacking type thing, because it is quite big. Although you could just take some of the utensils out of the pack and use individually, which is something you could do. Okay, that comes to the conclusion of the end of the video. Thank you very much.